Danger and I drive a lot of cars, especially these days, EVs.
And we know how polarizing EVs can be.
So when we found out that we were getting this is the Hyundai Ioniq 5N, we thought just for your benefit that we should take it out, maybe do a little bit of research, really look at kind of what it does, but just as like, you know, work stuff.
We could just use this as an excuse to drive on some curvy roads and a track for a couple of days.
Sounds more legitimate.
First, what is this thing? Well, like BMW's M division, Hyundai has its N.
And is it any coincidence that N comes after M? And the guy who used to run the M division at BMW, Albert Biermann, left there to go to Hyundai.
The regular Ioniq 5 can get up to 320 horsepower, but with that N at the end of its name, gets 601 standard horsepower. And there's this neat little N-Grin boost mode that, when engaged, bumps up output to 641 horsepower and up to 568 pound-feet of torque. And that is a reaction in real time, people. You gotta love it.
It's so good.
And yes, all-wheel drive is standard. But don't mistake this for just more power. This car is almost entirely different than the standard Ioniq 5. See? Stripes. It's longer in the front and rear thanks to a splitter and diffuser, wider because of the fenders, and there are more weld points in the chassis, giving it 11% more torsional stiffness than the mild-mannered Clark Kent Ioniq 5.
We're not going to talk a ton about the interior here, not on this video, but suffice to say, not a whole lot changes in here.
You do get checkered flag sill plates with the N logo, a thicker steering wheel with added drive mode buttons, and some sporty seats that are comfortable but only manually adjustable. There's still plenty of space for passengers in front and back, especially if you're lens-sized, but as far as the front, yeah, that's not there anymore, but you do get another N logo. Hyundai claims you could get 221 miles of range out of this.
But I charged it yesterday on a DC fast charger and it got to 252.
And on a DC fast charger, you can get from a 10% to an 80% charge in about 18 minutes. And this can do 2 full laps around the Nuremberg ring. Sorry, my tongue is very passionate when I say that. And the Porsche Taycan can only do about 1 and a little bit more. So yeah, that's pretty cool. The Hyundai Ioniq 5N starts at $67,495, which includes the destination charge. And for context, the regular Ioniq 5 starts at $43,195. And sure, with the Ioniq 5N, you get more power, cooler wheels, and zestier color options.
But where this car really differentiates itself as an electric vehicle is with all of the noises that this makes, the gizmos that you can do to the driving experience.
And I think engineers just wanted to make this feel like a more ICE traditional vehicle for the enthusiast out there.
It's very generous of them, I think.
The Ioniq 5N includes your traditional eco, normal, and sport drive modes, but also adds the N-Grin boost mode that bumps up power for 10 seconds and 2 N-labeled buttons at the bottom of the steering wheel. The one on the left brings up different custom N settings and drive modes like torque distribution, drift mode, and suspension feel, and the white N button on the right simulates engine noise and can shift simulated gears using the paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel.
But when it comes to all that stuff, does it really change the driving experience? We're gonna find out. Out of the gate, this is not a light car. 5,000 pounds doesn't exactly scream nimble. But here on Angela's Crest, we're gonna see if maybe it has a couple of surprises. So I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling its weight a little bit, but everything else that is surrounding that weight, like it definitely manages to handle it and make it feel like a bunch of fun. First thing is how it rides. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of feeling everything. Right now we are in Sport Plus, which is the firmest setting, and I think it's very well named. There are some imperfections in this road that we can definitely feel. I'm gonna flip this just now into a normal mode, definitely softens things up a little bit, feels a little bit more compliant. This is probably the mode that you would drive in on an everyday basis, but we're also gonna get to feel it on the track in that stiffer mode on a smoother road, although Willow Springs is not that smooth, and just see the difference. But overall, I mean, I think even just normal mode is pretty livable on a daily basis. Steering rack is so much quicker in the Ioniq 5N. I really like the weight of it. Feels pretty good in my hands. You guys, listen, it's an EV. If you're looking for any kind of feedback, you're not finding any here. As far as the brakes go, I haven't really had an opportunity to test them. That's definitely going to happen on the track. I certainly have no issues with the regen feel on these, but when it comes to fun, even spirited driving on a twisty road, they're great. So to me, where this really surprises is around turns and corners. I think this car rotates really nicely. It really, I mean, you get a little bit of body roll just because this thing is so heavy, but boy, it's got great grip and it really gives you a ton of confidence around turns. I mean, I could just do this all day. This is super fun. Ooh-hoo-hoo! I don't know, how are you feeling over there?
I feel like you need to be in this seat.
Okay, that's a pretty fun party trick, but I don't like it. I normally don't like being in this seat. I'm a terrible passenger. But you know what, honestly, like, I like the way the seats are bolstered. Like, you do feel pretty secure when you're going around turns. So not too bad as a passenger here, even if you are taking some fun twisty turnies.
Yeah, and I'll agree with you. I would much rather be in the driver's seat, but that's the best part about this vehicle is that if you want to drive it like a normal person, you totally can. It still feels very competent on the road. It's just, you have all that power, over 600 horsepower on tap, and you don't have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a supercar for it. I mean, if you want to turn off the noise and just be in that suppressed EV environment, then that's totally fine. It's at your use with a press of a button. But if you want to turn it up a notch, have your kids in the back and have them saying, "Oh my God, Daddy, I love the pops and the burbles." And the fun factor definitely amps up with the Ioniq 5N. I just love how the torque is just right there on demand. It throws you in the back of your seat.
It's so crazy.
And I'm always complaining about some EVs not having a signature performance noise because it could throw you back in your seat, but what about the other senses?
I love that sound. I know that it's kind of gimmicky, but it really, to me, it adds something to it.
It really does.
100%. Come on. You feel like you're actually doing something.
Now, would I have my wife and kids in this Angeles Crest? No.
I don't know that your wife would like sitting in this seat at all.
And that's totally fine because we're gonna have some fun at the track. Now we've taken the Ioniq 5N to Willow Springs Raceway, the Streets of Willow track portion to be exact.
And if you don't think that Hyundai is a performance brand or does not belong at the track, you would be mistaken. And also, if you didn't think he was going to have to change of clothes, you'd also be mistaken. Hyundai Motorsports has been in rally car racing since the late 1990s and winning championships in 2019 and 2020. They've also introduced the i20N Rally 1 car, which incorporates hybrid technology. So yeah, they've got some racing in their blood. So on this first run, I'm gonna have the sound on just to kind of give me all of the feels. One issue I'm gonna say with this sound on and the rev matching action, the downshifting stuff, is that Hyundai is simulating those downshifts by applying the brakes just a teeny tiny bit. You can separate the NE shift from the N active sound. So if you are after quick lap times, keep the noise and ditch those shifts. And now, after the bull, we're gonna see how it accelerates. I mean, it's just insane. Woo! I mean, you've got a ton of power here. This is incredible. I have the suspension set on Sport Plus as well, and it seems really appropriate. Doesn't feel like completely out of line. I'm actually gonna turn this off now. We'll have a nice quieter experience and just see if there's just as much fun to be had here. And again, here's this explosive power out of turns. I mean, you're hitting 100 miles an hour pretty quickly. Yeah, listen, that instant torque where you're coming out of those turns is just phenomenal. Yeah, surprisingly agile for such a heavy 5,000 pound car.
You do feel the weight of the Ioniq 5N even when you're on a track, but the power is so tremendous that it's still very quick. Also, I may have told Danger that I'd wait until he had a turn before I drifted it, and I didn't, and I shredded the tires. So we had a bit of a delay before Mike got his turn. I'm sorry, buddy.
That's okay, Lynn. We could still be friends. I'm always looking for seat time at the track, and this Ioniq 5N is a perfect car to bring here. It's nice that this EV has the option for some audible noise that adds more excitement because the track can be a bit quiet without it.
What's the noise?
With all that being said, this is still an EV, so if you do plan on bringing this to the track, make sure you plan your charging route accordingly. Yes, the Ioniq 5N is plenty fun on the track, and if you're interested in trading in your vehicle for some EV enjoyment, go to kbb.com and get your car's value. Click the link in the corner for more details.
What do you think? You had fun?
Yeah, I had fun. It's a blast.
Good.
But is he doing a stick thing?
I feel like it's better just to ignore that. We know it's you.
We saw you pull up.
Oh, no, that's okay. I mean, it's really hot inside this suit. I'm sweating my off.
Oh, there we go.
All right,
We just know how dangerous you are.
My goodness, this is fast.
Right?
I've driven this track so many times, but never in an electric car, so I'm just kind of gonna feel my way around the track just a little bit.
Traction control is off. Just
Cool.
Just as a
Noted.
heads up.
Okay.
But at least we have good tires on here now.
We do have good tires. A lot of traction here. I feel like I'm getting great feedback. Like, oh, hey, there we go. Listen to that tire sing. Okay, the bowl. Okay, I've been
Wait till
here.
you come out of the bowl.
Okay, starting to feed it in, feed it in, feed it in, feed it in. Oh, yeah. So monster power, great grip. The brakes feel good. Oh, yeah, this little blind little thing always freaks me out. There we go. Okay, and now we get to come to the fun part, which is the slow stuff where there's no real big consequences. Cool. Danger, how you doing back there?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Great. And then this is the zero consequence. Fling it. It will not drift, so we got to solve that.
Oh, we did not want to do that. Okay, hold please.
This is my biggest issue.
wait.
Lots
Oh,
of cool
sorry, guys.
features to use, but setting them up is a complicated process, which generally took us a long time to figure out.
You're in.
I like how I'm totally ignorant and I'm just pushing random buttons.
Then you go here. There you go, boss.
I'm brake optimized. Awesome. We're gonna do 2 drift optimized things. One, I'm just gonna floor it. So it'll hold really nicely in that extended drift. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Love it. And then the other thing I really wanted to check out, I'm gonna do the other tire, is there's the kind of a clutch kick thing. Have you guys tried that out?
No.
You can pull both paddles and it'll give a jolt of power through the back. And so let's see what happens. It's kind of like if you had a manual transmission and you hit the clutch and there's that big surge
like
of
a
power that
blip?
comes through the drive rail. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So let's see what happens if I do that. Daddy like. Okay.
Daddy going the wrong way on the track. What?
Danger, all good?
All good.
And one little moment over here.
Did you like going this way on this track?
I do. Sideways.
Oh, shit. Is that a tire?
Do we do have a moment?
Nah, I
You
thought
hear
I
it?
heard something.
Here.
I'm just paranoid now.
Let me get out. I'll check it. I do feel like I've proved the point, though, that this is a bit of a driftable car.
It's a very driftable.
Oh my
car.
gosh, this thing is so fun. I envy you guys getting to do a whole video about this. I'll be right back. So you can tell these are used tires because there are a couple of
Yeah.
chunks out of the right side. My fun is over. Thank you for indulging me. I'm doing this like a TikTok influencer. Hey guys, here's one crazy tip. You're gonna want to try this with your Ioniq 5N. Haul ass in it. Have you tried hauling ass in it? I can't recommend this enough. Like and subscribe.
10 out of 10. There's your tire chunk right there.
So, do we think the Ioniq 5 from Hyundai lives up to its hype?
For track stuff, yes.
For everyday use, yeah.
And I get paid to send emails and be in meetings now, not to share my opinions on cars, but it does seem like a really good way to burn down some tires.
You have a way of showing up to all the non-normal car shoots.
I've unlocked boss levels of self-entitlement. Back to middle management, guys.
I can't wait to do the next Ultima.